Today I'm talking about the finite game within the infinite game. Gosh, what is this all about? It's actually very, very exciting and fundamental. I heard about the finite game within the infinite game from Hui Xuan, who learned it from her master implementer coach Mark Teo. The idea of a finite and infinite game came from Dr. James Carr's and has been developed by Simon Sinek. You can watch the videos out there on that. So what is the infinite game? Okay. The infinite game. So this idea of the finite game and infinite game by James Carr's, and then this is the book by Simon Sinek, who focuses on the infinite game. He doesn't even talk about the finite game. Okay. So what is the infinite game? Okay, the infinite game could be growing as a leader with the 4 crucial characteristics of leadership, which we learned in Asia Works. It could be building the 5 pillars at 60, that video by Learning Path. It could be working on the 6 human needs by Tony Robbins. Or it could be developing the 7 habits of a highly effective leader. That's from Stephen Covey. Now, I share these 4 examples here because that has been fundamental to what what we've been basing our leadership game on. Okay. So Simon Sinek and James Carr's compare the finite game with the infinite game, but I don't see it as either or. We live in a world where both exist, both the finite game and the infinite game exist, and if we are wise, we'll play both. Finite games are real. We face them in contracts, competitions, limited time opportunities, LTOs, or even when someone's life is on the line. In these moments, I might say I have a choice, but really I don't, because I'm also in the middle of something larger, the infinite game. The real question isn't which game to play, but how to use the finite game to serve the infinite one. Using finite games as part of the infinite game, I feel is a key strategy that leverages on the slight edge philosophy of success, okay, which is utilizing the law of compounding. You're using laws like how we use the law of gravity if we want to move faster, easier. We go downhill, okay? And also actually to provide resistance to build strength. We go uphill, we carry weights. That's key strategy, okay? Because a whole lot of finite games are actually little steps that lead to giant steps into the greater unknown, the wonderful unknown. And if these little steps are seen as games, then they proceed. Then the process becomes more enjoyable, especially when they are team games. So let's look at the latest game some of us have been playing, the Team Elite game. Okay. Now, the title of Team Elite is Nu Skin's highest recognition. It's a finite game with clear rules. 4 leadership teams at 40K, 30K, 20K, and 10K in volume, plus 2 brand rep accounts. Okay. Do that 6 times, 6 months, and you win the title. Simple? Yes. Easy? No. Not easy at all. But this finite game is not the end. It's the beginning. Because the real win is how this short-term sprint actually fits into your infinite game. So how is the Team Elite game a win-win outcome for my downlines and for me? We talk about win-win because that's from Stephen Covey's 4th habit, win-win. Okay. What is the value of playing the Team Elite game? Well, it's a game where the prize isn't actually the pin title or a trip, but it's the kind of person you become and the kind of life you're helping others build. For the organization, having a current Team Elite leader is a beacon. It's what I call a beacon earning status. Okay, there's influence and there's early access to new information and new products. For example, the Prism IO, it will be the Team Elite that gets the product early before the masses get it. For the leaders of the 4 leadership teams, it's not just about hitting numbers. It's a chance to lead, to lift others, and to leave a legacy, of course. Now, for the individual members, whether it's PR or customers, it's about seeing that this sprint trains us for what I call a longer race of life, the infinite game, building what truly matters: health, finance, purpose, resilience, and relationships, those 5 pillars. And of course, there's also that spiritual element where we depend on the all-knowing God of the universe, playing the success game of, of intention plus action plus grace. So yes, we play the finite game, but we play it so we can keep playing the infinite one. As a result of that, becoming stronger, wiser, and together as a community. So this is, what I've shared is enough for you to go and reflect on how you've played the game and how you've grown through playing it. And we're going to do, some of us are going to do a reflection next week. But I've actually given extra thought on this crucial topic, and I've summarized how finite games fueled the infinite game. Okay, and I'm using a mnemonic. Let me share my screen again. Okay, I'm using a mnemonic CRISPR. Okay, CRISPR. Okay, so the first C is clarity of purpose. Finite goals test your why. They burn away fluff and they force focus. Okay. So working towards a specific goal like Team Elite reveals why we're really in the business. Okay. It's a stress test for your purpose. If I'm only in it for the title, or if you're only in it for the title, you'll burn out. But if you're in it to grow people, build freedom, and leave a legacy, then the pressure of the finite game reveals the strength of your infinite game. And ironically, in chasing this, what I really call a temporary goal, I realize what's eternal, okay, what's timeless, which is character, contribution, and consistency. The second aspect is that it's about relationships that endure. Okay? Pressure builds connection, shared challenges, trust, and commitment in a finite game forge long-term, lifelong bonds. What I call a very, very tight, time-bound goal, like Team Elite, just have 1 month to hit these great targets, forces trust, coordination, and this kind of emotional connection. And the shared victories, the breakdowns, the late nights, the breakthroughs, build relational capital that lasts far beyond the game. And these are the bonds, that carry people through the long haul. And we want to build that relationship pillar, people we can trust, people that trust us. The third area is what I call identity in motion, because every goal stretches you into someone new. You become through the doing. You become through the doing. You don't grow without friction, okay? And a finite game gives form to the formless. You ask yourself, why am I doing this? And it gives form. Okay, it pushes you to ask, who must I become? And the grind, the stretch, I find reshape your habits or mindset and leadership. You look at the distinctions that you have to apply in order to play and win the game. And these changes endure beyond any one campaign. They're part of the infinite that you're becoming. Okay, they're part of the infinite that you're becoming. Okay, and the CRISS are the stories and signposts. Wins and struggles give rise to stories, both personal and communal. And these stories inspire and guide others. So finite games, they give stories that you'll tell. We want to tell stories to our children. We want to tell stories to people. Stories are much more effective. Remember the month we almost didn't make it. Gosh, I remember January, February, we didn't make it. March, and of course, April. These stories become part of your culture and the compass for those who come after you. And it's more than just in the business. We learn to tell stories to to our children, our grandchildren. The P is about possibility and resilience, because success creates belief and struggle builds capacity. This is the big one to me. Okay, possibility ties in with resilience, possibility, hope. Okay. Achieving something finite expands belief. It actually models what's possible. Like which one says it's impossible until it happens. Others start believing that they can too. And then the intensity of a finite push actually raises the baseline. You begin to attempt BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goal. The finite game actually becomes your boot camp for the infinite one, becomes your boot camp for the infinite one. And so I want to share with you, I want to elaborate a bit on resilience, because I think that's a key pillar as we age. Finite games are a mirror, a check on the strength of our resilience pillar. And I want to share with you something I learned from Rajan, who wrote Walking on Clouds. Okay, he says that the cold reveals what's real. Comfort can hide the truth, but when everything is stripped away, what remains is what's real. So Rajan writes, he says, in extreme cold, nothing extra survives. Batteries fail, weak layers get exposed. Even your thoughts become sharper or disappear entirely. Out there, ego has no function. Titles mean nothing. The call doesn't care who you are, what you've done, or how many people follow you. It only cares whether you're prepared, present, honest. The same is true in life, Rajan says. We all have seasons of cold, loss, change, isolation, transition. And in those moments, the noise fades, the distractions drop. And what's left is real, raw, and unfiltered. Your character, your mindset, your truth. I felt this on frozen glaciers and in empty boardrooms, after difficult goodbyes, after plans fell apart, after climbing higher, only to realize I still had parts of myself to confront. And what I've come to love about the call is that it doesn't lie. It shows you what's real, what's strong, what's fragile, and what matters. And so he has this reflection, and this finite game makes you reflect what parts of your identity only exist in comfort and what parts remain when things get cold. And you ask yourself, is that version of me strong enough to lead in any condition? Because the cold reveals what's real, and in that truth, there's power. Okay, in that truth, there's power. And so playing a finite game is like a mirror. Okay? Gives us an opportunity to get stronger. Finally, the A is acceleration of progress. A short-term game acts like a slingshot to success. It propels progress. Okay? So, in SUP, the weekly Thursday paddles, they're actually too free and easy, and they don't actually speed up my skill. I just go there, have fellowship, and have fun. But entering an SUP race now pushes me to refine what I call my 5 S's: my starts, my stroke, my swivel turns, and then also to build strength and stamina. Just like the TRME 3-month body transformation program will create new habits that are essential to build the health pillar for the long term. So finite goals create urgency, generate urgency, which speeds up mastery. It's not just pressure, it's actually propulsion. Okay? So there we have a crisper life. Okay? No wonder many of you realize that although you signed up for a business in New Skin, what you also got was a personal development program. And this is in line with Paul the apostles' infinite game. And he says in in Philippians, not that I've already obtained this goal of becoming Christ-like or have already been made perfect, but I actively press on so that I may take hold of that perfection for which Christ Jesus took hold of me and made me his own. Brothers and sisters, I do not consider that I have made it my own yet, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and reaching forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the heavenly prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. Okay, so that is the infinite game, and we get there by playing the many, many finite games. Okay. So, Prism, IO, Shanghai, they're all finite games. So thank you very much.